Life back in Isolation Station 24601 can be quite jading at times, you know, back in a spare room as opposed to being in an office with access to free tea, coffee and biscuits, juggling life between writing wrestling news and putting the washing on. It can get a little bit, jading. But thankfully there is at least one wrestling company under the WWE umbrella that's keeping it fresh. Thank you very much to the Gold and Black. Let's talk about it, shall we? This is NXT Graded. We start with the Women's Battle Royal. The winner will face Io Shirai at TakeOver for the NXT Women's Championship. Lots of new faces in this Battle Royal. They filled out the ring with some people who've maybe been doing some independent matches, some enhancement matches, some backstage bits. I recognise Dream Girl Ellie in there. She's, I believe, a Florida native. She's very good. I'm glad to see her getting an opportunity. But we don't see Tegan Nox in this match. No, she had her knee crushed earlier on by Candice LeRae backstage. If you want to stop Tegan Nox doing anything, just aim for her knees. They're her weaknesses. Her weaknesses, if you will. I'll shut up. Only two people get entrances, Candice LeRae and Rhea Ripley. And they're the two to focus on, really, in this match. We have Rhea Ripley going up there against Raquel Gonzalez in a game of Can You Top This? Where they're both throwing people out left, right and centre. I think they get the equal record for number of people getting thrown out. But the other person to watch is Kacy Catanzaro. At one point, Indy Hartwell tries to dump her out of the ring, but her feet don't touch the floor, so she's able to wriggle and maneuver her way back into the match. This happens again, but this time she ends up landing with cat-like skills onto the barricade, gripping onto the plexiglass. This happens a couple of times. She gets knocked off and jumps onto it. Tag team partner Caden Carter is on the apron trying to help her out. She ends up getting eliminated in the process though. But when she's on the ground, she offers the shoulders for Kacy to stand on and gets her back into the ring that way. This was great. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez break their game of who can beat up the most people to beat each other up for a bit. And this leads to both eliminating each other and fighting away from the ringside area. Quite like the Beast division building within the women's roster of NXT. So it comes down to, eventually, Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart. Good back and forth with these guys. We end up seeing Candice LeRae fall out of the ring and onto the steel steps. As Shotzi goes out there to finish her off, Candice does a monkey flip that sends Shotzi over the steps into the floor, and Candice wins the match. She is facing Io Shirai at TakeOver. Giving this match a B, love the stuff they did here. It's difficult to make a battle royal engaging and exciting, and they did their absolute best here with the stuff with Ripley and Raquel, and the stuff with Kacy getting bumped around and staying in there. Very creative finish as well, with all the stuff on the steel steps. I liked it. We cut to video footage from earlier today. Fandango is dressed as Sherlock Holmes, solving the mystery of who is the #1 contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Is it Imperium? Is it the Britam Brawlers? Is it the Undisputed Era? Is it Legado del Fantasma? Is it the Denver Broncos? Is it Andrew who's editing this video? There he is. What a guy. The only way to decide, apparently, according to Sherlock Dango, is to basically have a strange Bedfellows match where we see Danny Burch from the Britam Brawlers teaming with Roderick Strong from the Era, taking on Raul Mendoza from Legado del Fantasma and Fabian Aichner from Imperium. The winning team will then face each other next week, and the winner of that match, they and their tag partner, will face Breezango. Or as Danny Burch calls all this, me and the Sherman against the Merchant and the Burke. The winners face the Septics. Nice use of Cockney rhyming slang there. I like this. That match is later on tonight, but for now we go back to the ring where Jake Atlas is squaring up to Tommaso Ciampa. Weeks and weeks of this has been building up. It was Ciampa that took Jake Atlas out on NXT a few weeks back. Atlas came back last week and said, hey, I want a piece of you. I'm not going to jump you from behind. We're going to do it. I want to eat from the champ's table. I'm hungry. All this stuff. It was great. In the ring, we see almost straight off the bat, Jake Atlas just go for it. Like, he gets so much in on Ciampa. Like, Ciampa's genuinely amazingly surprised by Atlas's attack. They end up outside the ring, and Atlas goes to do the neck whip that Ciampa did to him on the ring. He pulls up the ring apron, he puts Ciampa under the ring, sets him up for it. The ref is saying, if you do that, I'll DQ you. Ciampa manages to wriggle out, lands a lariat in the ring to take control for a little while. But Atlas gets back into this once again, and he lands some big moves on Ciampa. Blockbuster gets a near fall just as we're coming to the end of this match. We see Jake Atlas go up for the Rainbow DDT, but he gets kicked by Ciampa as he's on the way down. This leads to Willow's Bell. Ciampa goes for the pin, gets a 1 but stops. Screams at Jake Atlas about how he wants to eat from the champ's table, how he's hungry. Then tells him to get up. He eventually picks him up and drops him with the fairy tale ending for the 1, 2, 3, and Ciampa takes his leave from there. Giving this match a B, thought it was really, really surprising actually how much Jake Atlas got in this one. I didn't think he'd get walked over, but wow, like really did a number on Ciampa in this one. I don't 100% know whether it was right to have him get so much in on Ciampa, but be that as it may, he did. Ciampa feels a bit lost at the moment. I think we were meant to be having Ciampa and Karrion Kross at this point, but that's not happening. So he's sort of wading right now and working with some of the younger guys, which I love to see. This match was really good. Surprised by the way it was put together. We get a profile of Ridge Holland. He talks about how he beat up kids at his school in Yorkshire. Talks about how he used to play rugby in Yorkshire. Talks about how he beats people up now as an adult, but not in Yorkshire, in America. We'll see him in action later on today. Good to hear the Yorkshire twang on NXT from off of America, isn't it? We also get a video montage hyping up our main event tonight. Isn't it funny how you can put a soundtrack and some films to camera, some interviews straight to camera, to hype a main event that makes it feel so much bigger. It's really what they did here. We have our strange Bedfellows match next. It's Danny Burch teaming with Roderick Strong to face Raul Mendoza and Fabian Aichner. This is exactly what you'd expect from a match where the tag team partners don't get along. We have hot dog in, we have grandstand in, we have some deliberately aggressive tags, you know, where they just where they deliberately smack the arm, and also invisible tags where they like tag them from behind and they don't see them tagging. You know, there's forced tags in. Get a lot of that in this match. Burch gets worked over for ages in this one. Roddy is desperately trying to get the tag on the ropes, but Mendoza and Aichner are taking it in turns to beat up Burch. There's no tag team chemistry there, but I guess that's the point. Roddy eventually is reaching for the tag and he gets knocked off the ring apron. That's when Burch makes a break for it, but Roddy is not there. He manages to fight off Aichner long enough for Roddy to get back on the apron and tag himself in. That was pointless then, wasn't it? Roddy goes wild here, just takes everybody out. The end comes with Mendoza going up to the top rope and Danny Burch tagging himself in, hitting the Tower of London onto Mendoza for the 1, 2, 3. And with that, the winners are Danny Burch and Roderick Strong, and we'll see the Era versus the Britam Brawlers next week to determine who's going to face Fandango for the tag titles. This was a B, another B. I feel like a hive this week. This was a B. There was some really good stuff in here. There wasn't much in the way of chemistry or tag team chicanery, but I guess that was the point. It's always weird when you're booking a match to deliberately not quite click. That was kind of the point they were making here, but I thought it was good. Johnny Gargano interrupts Austin Theory's interview to give him a bit of a pep talk for his match tonight against Damian Priest. I feel like if they put these two together, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I think it would work for both. Priest is in action against Austin Theory next, the North American champion. Pretty dominant to start over Theory, but he goes for a springboard, and this leads to Theory pushing him out of the ring. You know, he's hoisted by his own flying offense. That doesn't work as a thing. Never mind. Theory here just wears down and breaks down on Damian Priest, taking the advice from Johnny Gargano to get Damian Priest on the ground. At one point, he strikes Damian Priest, and that wakes Priest up. He starts priesting up, brother. Starts just wailing on Austin Theory. Lands a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Theory comes back with a Blue Thunder Bomb, but doesn't quite get it. They end up fighting outside of the ring, where Damian Priest, wild-eyed with intensity, drops Austin Theory onto the apron, the hardest part of the ring, with a razor's edge. Back in the ring, hits him with a reckoning. 1, 2, 3. Priest stands over Austin Theory, lights are down, the music's playing, and then boom! There's Johnny Gargano with a super kick out of nowhere. And he stands over Damian Priest, pulls back an invisible bow and arrow and points it at his opponent for TakeOver. I will see you a week on Sunday. B+ for me. So far, this has been the best match of the night. I loved how these two worked together. Austin Theory hasn't won anything really since coming back, but he's been so good in his role. And Damian Priest, now Punishment Martinez has officially got into the groove as Damian Priest, you can see the star aura coming off him. This is a future star of the company right here. If there was ever any doubt, I think we're going to see the best of Damian Priest in the next couple of weeks. We get a video hyping Isaiah Swerve Scott. He's this close to beating Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. He proposes one more match with no Legado del Fantasma around and no fixed masks with weapons inside. And he says if that happens, he will leave as the Cruiserweight Champion. I'm excited to see these two go at it once again. I've enjoyed their chemistry so far. Yorkshire is representing now as Ridge Holland makes his way out for his match against Antonio De Luca. Luca gets a couple of shots in here, but this is all a showcase for Ridge. There's a moment early on in the match where it looks as if Ridge is out of place for like a kick swung by Luca. It follows it up with a pounce that nearly sends Luca into another orbit. And late in the match, we see Luca land a punch to the face of Ridge. That wakes Holland up, and he just levels him with headbutts in the corner. Follows it up with Northern Grit, which is a Northern Lights bomb a la Ridge Holland for the 1, 2, 3. And Ridge gets his cap, doffs it, and leaves. Nice. B- for this one. I enjoyed some of the stuff that they did in this match, albeit a little bit uneasy at some points. Ridge Holland has a great package overall. Like the way that he is built and the story around him, the moveset that he's got, those big overhead suplexes, the Northern Grit, the Northern Lights bomb's a good fit for him as well. I really like that. Yeah, lots to love. Lots to love about Ridge Holland. I'm excited to see what he'll do going forward. Io Shirai's interview is interrupted by the Garganos, who are like, oh, look at you, champion. You haven't said well done to Candice yet. She's going to beat you at TakeOver and all this stuff. And then a door swings open behind them, and here is Damian Priest, who says, oh, here's Johnny. It just made me laugh. Just a funny line. They end up brawling very briefly and getting split apart. We find out later on that next week we're getting Io Shirai teaming with Damian Priest to take on Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. That should be fun. Main event o'clock, and it is the Eliminator Gauntlet to determine the #1 contender for Finn Balor's NXT Championship. No entrances to start, which is either a design choice or an editing snafu. I haven't decided which yet. But it is Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly getting us underway with 4 minutes of solid techers. Mwah! You'll see a lot of chef's kisses in this match, I'm going to warn you now. The first 4 minutes is just these guys ground and pound and technical wrestling. It's brilliant. They start striking one another as entrant number 3 comes out. Big beefy boy Bronson Reed, who lights the place up, batters them both, but they manage to get a little bit of alone time when they both start taking out Bronson Reed. We have a beautiful transitional set here, which sees Kyle O'Reilly get a leg lock in onto Kushida. He transitions it into a leg lock onto Bronson Reed. Kushida transitions that into a hoverboard lock onto Kyle O'Reilly, and then Bronson Reed transitions that into a suplex onto Kushida. Mwah, 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 mwah. So many chef's kisses, I simply cannot hold them all. They end up scuffling on the corner, and Kyle O'Reilly goes flying outside the ring. Like, he bangs his head on the barricade on the way down. As the ref is investigating this, his Velveteen Dream slides into the ring, hits a Dream Valley driver on Kushida. Naughty boy. Off he goes. And then off the top rope, here's Bronson Reed with a tsunami splash onto Kushida, and Kushida is out of the game. Timothy Thatcher's in next. He gets buffed off the ring apron for his trouble as he arrives. After the break, they're having this 3-way tie-up back grapple. It's basically a conga in a very limited space. It ends with Bronson dropping Thatcher with a German suplex. Out comes Cameron Grimes to complete this match. He goes crazy on everybody until, you guessed it, the big boy Bronson wipes him out with a lariat. Bronson gets a lot of love in this match, a lot of love. Everyone's got bespoke moves from Bronson, and everybody gets a dive from Bronson as well, so that's good as well. End comes for the colossal Bronson Reed when he goes to hit a tsunami splash onto Timothy Thatcher, but Thatcher rolls out of the way, and then here's Kyle O'Reilly off the top with a knee to the back of Bronson Reed's head for the 1, 2, 3, and out goes Bronson Reed. As that pinfall goes down, Timothy Thatcher straight in there, ankle lock onto Kyle O'Reilly. They go back and forth with submission moves here. Great bit where we see Thatcher with a sleeper hold on Kyle O'Reilly. Cameron Grimes runs at Kyle O'Reilly and Kyle grabs his leg and turns it into an ankle lock. Some sort of weird human centipede technical edition going on there. Techers from Thatcher and O'Reilly results in an inside cradle from O'Reilly, pinning Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher's gone from the match. As O'Reilly stands up, he eats a cave-in from Cameron Grimes, but manages to get a foot on the ropes to break the pin. They're really protective of the cave-in, aren't they? Like, I don't think anybody has survived a cave-in if it wasn't for like a foot on the ropes or a DQ or whatever. They go back and forth a little while longer. It ends up with Cameron Grimes going for the cave-in and missing, and Kyle O'Reilly getting the leg lock back in onto Grimes for the submission win. Kyle O'Reilly, who has gone from number 1 to the very end, has won the match. He is the number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong come out to celebrate with him, and there's Finn Balor on the ring apron doing the guns. Oh, see you week on Sunday. That main event is an A. Excellent work from everybody. It had a little bit of everything in there, a little bit of all that you like. Big fan of the Bronson Reed's dominance in there. Thatcher could have done a bit more. I feel like Thatcher was a bit of an afterthought in comparison to other people in that. Grimes continues to be a star on the rise. Kyle O'Reilly was a very pleasant surprise as a win. Very pleasant surprise. If you haven't seen Kyle O'Reilly doing singles stuff, you're going to be in for a treat when you get to watch him and Balor go at it a week on Sunday. So this is very much deserving of an A. Overall this week, the average grade calculator makes NXT a B+. But I'm going to bump it up to an A- because it was a great show with some new talent coming through, some very good wrestling in there as well, a great main event. And after Monday Night Raw, after what that was, I was ready for something to cleanse my palate. And NXT was a delightful salve this week after what we saw on Monday night. So thank you to the Black and Gold brand for keeping on. TakeOver's coming soon. Stay safe. Love you, bye.